Assalamualaikum and hi. We from group AC2204K would like to present on our analysis on biological assets between two companies which are Samco Timber Limited from Indonesia and WTK Holdings Berhad from Malaysia. So we would like to proceed on our presentation.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Shaira Malina Bijijasni and I will introduce to you the international company that we choose, which is Samco Timber Limited Company. Established in 1978, the group started as a downstream processed timber product manufacturer without any upstream plantation and natural forest concession. Samco operates 6 processing plant and 10 satellite veneer plant and a chemical glue facility spread across Java, Sumatra, and Sulawesi. Timber Limited and its subsidiary, Samco Timber, or the group, is Indonesia's leading vertically integrated wood resource processor. Focus on consumable biological asset, we have choose a company that have consumable biological asset, which is forest. Biological asset of the group comprise of standing tree in the plantation forest separate from the land on which these assets are allocated. Samco Timber Limited Company adopts Singapore Financial Reporting Standard. The plantation forest is capitalized as biological asset under SPFRS 41 in the Statement of Financial Position and not amortized are shown as non-current asset. Definition under MFRS 141 and FRS 41 for agriculture activity is the management by an entity of the biological transformation and harvest of the biological asset for the sale or for conversion into the agriculture produce. For biological asset is a living animal or plant. For the definition of harvest is the detachment of the produce from biological asset or the cessation of the biological asset life processes. For the recognition, under MFRS 141 and FRS 41, an entity shall recognize a biological asset when and only when first, entity control the asset as a result of the past event. Second, it is probable that future economic benefit associated with the asset will flow to the entity. Third, the fair value or the cost of the asset can be measured reliably. Under the Singapore Financial Reporting Standard, plantation forest it measured at fair value less point of sale cost at the point of harvest. For the initial measurement, biological asset should be measured at its fair value less cost to sell, and gain or loss arise from the biological asset are calculated at the fair value less cost to sell. Okay, next, gain or loss of biological asset arise from the changes in the fair value less cost to sell shall be included in profit or loss of its current financial year.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Siti Rahim Masani. So I'm going to proceed the measurement of biological assets of Samco Timber Limited Berhad. So you can see that the notes provided by the company shows that the information on fair value determination on their biological assets. So in this note, it states that the fair value of biological assets is estimated with reference to a professional valuation using the present value of expected net cash flows from the biological assets. So the valuations are based on the following significant assumptions: that there's no new planting or replanting activities are assumed. Next is the economic life of each standing tree is 6 to 10 years, which on 2016 there are 6 to 10 years of economic life. And then the yield is 13 to 283 cubic meter per hectare, which on 2016 is 26 to 283 cubic meter per hectare. So, and the average inflation rate is 4.6% per annum, which on 2016, its inflation rate is 4.07%. And then the discount rate is 12.37% per annum, which on 2016 its discount rate is 12.20%. Then and next is the market price is derived from the average market price per species. So as you can see that the information, the phrase on a professional valuation using present value of expected net cash flows from the biological assets derived means that the biological assets of the company are valued using on significant unobservable inputs, or also which known as level 3 inputs for value measurement. And the company also has adopted an income approach method to value their biological assets. The notes that have been provided by the company in their annual reports shows that the company has categorized their biological assets under significant unobservable inputs or level 3 inputs of fair value measurement amounted 51,454,000 rupiah. Then we can see next to these notes is the notes on information regarding the fair value measurements of their biological assets, which is standing timber using significant unobservable inputs or level 3 inputs. So in this schedule, it shows that there's two types of standing timber, which are standing timber older than 7 years at the age which it becomes marketable, and a younger standing timber. So for standing timber older than 7 years, it has key and observable inputs of estimated harvesting cost 199,778 rupiah to 364,690 rupiah, with weighted average of 294,656 rupiah. For the youngest standing timber, it has three key and observable inputs, which are: first is estimated future timber market price per cubic meter, with average price range from 651,434 rupiah to 1,374,854 rupiah, with a weighted average of 1,012,152 rupiah. Next is the adjusted yield per hectare is 9 cubic meter to 155 cubic meter, with weighted average of 108 cubic meter. So next is the discount rate at 12.37%. So for the interrelationship between key and observable inputs and fair value measurement for standing timber older than 7 years, so is that when the estimated fair value increase, the estimated harvest transportation cost will be lower. Now, for the younger standing timber, when the estimated fair value increase, the estimated timber price and the yield per hectare will be higher, while the discount rate will be lower. Now, let's proceed to the presentation and disclosure of the biological assets of the company. Again, we can see that the notes to the financial statements provided by the companies show that the company has disclosed their biological assets, on which that at 1st January 2017, the fair value amount of biological asset is 49,971 rupiah, 71,000 rupiah. And then there's capitalization of expenses of 170,000 rupiah, which will be shown in statement of cash flow under investing activities. And it less the harvest of trees of 713,000 rupiah. And then there's a net change in fair value less estimated cost to sell, which also known as gain in fair value less cost to sell of 2,024,000 rupiah, which will be shown in statement of profit or loss. Then it derives the fair value of the biological assets at 31st December amounted 51,454,000 rupiah, which it will be shown in statement of financial position. Next, the company has presented their biological assets in consolidated statement of financial positions at amount of 51,454,000 rupiah under non-current assets. For the presentation on consolidated cash flow statement, the company has made an adjustment under operating activities for the net gain on change in fair value of biological assets amounted 2,024,000 rupiah on 2017, which arise from the change in fair value less estimated cost to sell. Meanwhile, for the addition of biological assets, the company has presented under investing activities, which arise from the capitalizations of expenses in the notes number 14. And for presentation in consolidated income statement, the company has disclosed the net gain on change in fair value of biological assets in 2017 of 2,024,000 rupiah, which arise from the net change fair value less estimated cost to sell.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Jan19 Hamza. Next, I would like to present a company that we wanted to analyze their biological asset, company which is that incorporated in Malaysia on 25th November 1970. This company is one of the leading company in the Malaysian timber industry that is committed to adopt and implement sound forest management practice to ensure forestry is economically, environmentally, and socially sustainable. The core activity of the group since the late 1990s is in the timber harvesting and manufacture plywood product. This company is a diversified group with operation in the timber, plantation, adhesive tape, and oil and gas sector. Okay, next, since we wanted to focus on consumable biological assets, we have choose a company that have consumable biological asset, which is WTK Holding Berhad, that have timber. The timber division comprised of upstream timber harvesting operation and forest plantations, and downstream timber processing operation, which is mainly in the plywood manufacturing. The three species of this company are Kelampayan, Batai, and Akakia hybrid. All these operations are located in Sarawak, Malaysia. Based on Malaysian Financial Reporting Standard, the company has capitalized its timber as biological asset. According to MFRS 141 Agriculture, in Statement of Financial Position, amortized since there is no indication about amortization of biological asset. Any expenditure on planted forest in the form of planting and upkeep of the trees, administrative expenses, and interest incurred up to the time of harvest is capitalized in the Statement of Financial Position and will only be charged in profit or loss upon harvesting based on the areas harvested. Next, we will move on to how the company measure its biological asset. The timber is measured at fair value less cost to sell, and the biological asset itself are recognized up to the point of harvest. Okay, since the company has used fair value measurement in order to measure and recognize its biological assets, we need to know on which level that the biological asset is valued and how the company adopt the fair value measurement based on fair value hierarchy. So, the group and the company classify fair value measurement uses using fair value hierarchy that reflect the significance of the input used in making the measurement. The fair value hierarchy has the following level, which is level 1, quoted price in active market for identical asset or liability. Level 2, input other than quoted price included in level 1 that are observable for the asset or liability, either directly or indirectly. And level 3, inputs for the asset or liability that are not based on observable market data. And for the level 3, input for the asset or liability that are not based on observable market data, which is it is unobservable input. As we can see from the notes that have been provided by the company in their annual report, to arrive at the fair value of planted trees, the management considered the age of the trees planted and derived the assumption that the net cash flow to be generated from planted trees. So, from this paragraph, since the management assumed that the age of the tree planted is derived based on the net cash flow to be generated from planted trees, thus, the fair value measurement for timber is based on level 3 input, which is significant unobservable input.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Jan19, and let's proceed to presentation and disclosure of. So this is the notes on physical assets of WTK Holding Berhad. So this is the notes on physical assets of WTK Holding Berhad. So we just look at the orange box, which represent the reforestation for the tree planting. As at 31st December 2017, the total amount of reforestation is 95,610,000. This amount will come after the balance from the last year add up with the addition amount from the year 2017. So the amount of 6,462,000 will be shown in the statement of cash flow, exclude the depreciation of property, plant and equipment and finance costs. The total of 95,610,000 is recognized in statement of financial position. So the amount of reforestation is included in the total of biological asset in statement of financial position. There is no gain or loss in biological asset, so the company do not state in the financial statement. For the notes on revenue, it stated that there is a transaction of sales of timber and related products. The amount of 659,764,000 will be write-off in the revenue of statements of profit or loss and other comprehensive income. Okay, let's proceed to the presentation in consolidated statement of financial position. Okay, this is the consolidated statement of financial position of WTK Holding Berhad as at 31st December 2017. The amount of reforestation of 95,610,000 is included in biological asset under asset. Next, biological asset of WTK Holding Berhad is presented in consolidated statement of cash flow under investing activities. So the addition amount of 5,665,000 is arise from the capitalization of expenses. The amount is including the depreciation of PPE and finance costs. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you.